Hey, is this thing on? All right, great. Hey everyone, welcome to another titillating and fun-filled episode of Vent This. I'm Chuck, and Chris is here with me today. I know she's here physically. Mentally, it's always a crapshoot, but we'll see how it goes today. We've had several events about dating and dating-related issues, and so we've decided to pile them all into one episode, and this is the episode with the pile. So today we have with us another guest host. Someone told us he was really good, so we said, "All right, let's try him out." So he's here with us today on Vent This. He's a comedian. He's a confidence relationship coach. And you may have seen him or heard him somewhere. You may know of him. You may know nothing about him. No matter what, he's here today. So Paul Roseberry, welcome to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And a thank you to you for having me.
Well, it's a pleasure. It's
me
it's our
too.
pleasure.
Don't forget me, Paul.
That was in the French, it would be vous. That was
okay. Merci.
Oh, look at
yes,
that.
yes.
See, Vent This is bilingual now.
Look at that. Just
Jeez.
that easy.
We're going to have to change all our advertising. So,
To include cigarettes?
so yes, to include cigarettes. There you go. So Paul, tell us a little bit about you before we get started, so the people know who they're listening to. What's going on?
Yeah, we're dying to hear.
You know, I think you hit the key bullet points. I'm a comedian and also a dating coach, which I like the way you phrase that. It's really a confidence coach. So, and as we were kind of discussing before the pod kicked off, that can sound a little more serious. But as I said, I'm just not a serious person. I don't believe in teaching or learning without some humor. So the stand-up comedian is always in the room, as will be today. So
That's great.
Cool.
That's what we appreciate. So your confidence and relationship and all those things come into play with dating. So this works perfectly.
So
Yes, it
maybe
does.
we'll learn something today, you and me, Chuck. I mean,
Yeah,
we're not dating, but we have, you never know. We
by
could
the
all
end of the show, you will.
We'll be
Excellent.
dating. There you go. It'll get us started in the dating world again. Oh
Yeah.
boy, oh boy.
The two
All
of
right.
you.
Well,
We'll go back to Jim.
we'll go back. So our Loretta, our letter reader, is not here. As
Again.
she is not many times. Yes.
Loretta.
So Chris is going to do the joyful job and task of reading these vents, but they're all on dating today. Stay tuned. Maybe you'll learn something. Maybe you won't. Maybe you'll have some laughs. But let's see how it goes. Paul's here. He's a comedian. It's got to be funny.
What are you going to do?
Yeah. All right, guys. So, by the way, I haven't dated in 100 years, so I definitely will learn something here. All right, here's the first vent. Why is it so difficult to find a decent and kind man? I have tried multiple ways to meet nice guys, but something isn't quite right. Here's an example. I met this guy at a book signing, so we agreed to go and have a coffee to sit and talk. I ordered a cafe latte, and he ordered a regular coffee. He asked me if I wanted anything else, so I suggested, hey, let's share a mini lemon pie. The pie was really small, so I thought it'd be fun to try. The bill comes, and I offer to pay, since it was my idea to get the dessert, and I had the cafe latte. Well, he got upset with me for offering to pay and implied that I thought he couldn't afford it. I was shocked and kind of hurt. He never called again, and I'm losing faith in mankind. And this vent is signed, Why Am I Dating? You know what? If this guy gets so pissed off over a nice gesture, I say, let's hope he never calls back.
Yeah. Well, I think she blew it when she ordered the lemon pie. It's like I think a chocolate cake would have been a much better choice. That's where she blew it.
I'm going to go in your direction, Chuck. I bet there's a chance that something far more catastrophic happened on this date than lemon pie or offering to pay.
Had to be.
Yeah. There was something else going on. I mean, you can't just do a nosedive just from that.
Lemon pie, huh?
Yeah.
Do you know how vanilla of a date you would have to have? Who offers to pay for the pie is a never see you again.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
plus, how much could the pie have been? I mean, she was very kind in offering to pay. I'm not so sure. It was a good idea. First date, why not split the bill, pay the bill? That's all good. But to get offended because you offered to be nice, no.
Yeah.
Thumbs down on this guy. Send him his walking papers. He's out.
I think picking up the tab was a very, very nice gesture. And I think it was a good start to maybe something that would build. But I mean, this guy just sounds like he's right at the top of the jerk register to me. I mean, so you may as well give it up.
Definitely.
I think he couldn't afford the pie.
Maybe that's what it is. Yeah.
I think the truth of the matter came out, and he was really, maybe she was staring at a hole in his shoe when she offered to pay for the pie, like what?
Yeah.
What
maybe that's missing? That was the impetus to pay for it. It's like, this guy can't afford it.
Yeah. Why did he take it that way?
Yeah.
Not good.
Yeah.
Not good.
I mean, it's just a bad start. I mean, you don't know how many dates I've had where, the first time meeting, with these internet people, and it's supposed to be, where you've been on the websites, the dating websites. And this is in the past. I haven't been doing this in over 20 years, but you're going out to have a drink. It turns out into being a full-blown dinner. And then when the bill arrives at the table, she gets up and she's at the restroom for 20 minutes. And you just feel like, well, okay, we've got to vacate the table. And you end up paying the bill. And then it was like at the end, it's like, okay, it was nice meeting you. And you guys never talk again. I mean, that's just over and over.
Well, I think the key is, she actually did that part right. I think the key I find in dating is low investment in the beginning. Like, a guy who invites a girl he just met and barely knows her, maybe you got a number in the street or at a cafe, and says, "Oh, I want to take you to dinner." Oh,
too much.
It's a turn off to the girl.
Yeah.
It's a high risk to him because the level of commitment he must be expecting. And why is this guy, dinner's $100, walking
easily.
Yeah, easily.
Sure. Yeah.
So like, that's just kind of weird. I think this girl, I think she's just got to make up for it in volume. I think coffee and pie dates, she can have 100 of those. And so I think just keep plugging, slugger.
Yeah. Just go out and have a drink. Keep it simple. And if there's an attraction, if there's chemistry, then you can go for dinner maybe the second time. I mean, there's no perfect situation in any of these things. I once went out with a woman that I went to pick her up, and as we walked, to my car, I went around her side of the car to be a gentleman, and
nice.
I opened the door, and at that point, she informed me that she was perfectly capable of opening her own door. Oh yeah.
See, that's bad.
Yeah, I know. So we were off to a great start. So I retorted by saying, okay, well, as we go through the evening, just remember that if you slip and fall tonight, you could pick your own ass up. So we went out twice, and the second date wasn't a big celebration either. We went out on my boat. She was wearing a very tiny white bikini. She started her period. There was a mess on the boat. Everything went south
all
from
right,
there.
Chuck.
True story. Yeah, white bikini. She was embarrassed. I was annoyed, and that was it. Bye-bye now.
That could have attracted sharks.
That's
dangerous.
Yeah, luckily we weren't out diving.
Okay. Maybe it's time we go on to the next vent.
We were joyriding, not diving.
Oh God.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I mean, I get the embarrassment for her, but it wasn't meant to be.
Well, I think these things are rather cyclical from what I understand. You can have a rough idea.
She didn't know it was coming. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
all right.
we're getting Chris. I'll know her headsets are getting loose now.
Yeah. I'm about to explode.
All right. Well, you should implode. It'll be less messy.
It's cool you have a boat. It's cool you have a boat.
Yeah. Well, I did at that time.
Well, that was good advice, Paul. So let's move on to the next vent, shall we?
Well, wait. What about me? I didn't have any good advice.
You did, Chuck. You did.
Okay, right.
Yeah, you had very good advice. I like hearing about your dating stories. The 3 dates that you went on your entire life. Okay, so moving on.
Good. All right, Chris. Well, let us hear the second one. What do we got?
Yeah. So this one, here it goes. Here's vent number 2. Why do people put filters on their dating app pictures? It's so stupid because we all know we'll eventually find out what they look like. This guy I met on a dating app wanted to meet me, and I thought he was hot, so we agreed to meet for drinks. When he showed up, I thought it was the guy's father. Oh, goodness. I did not say anything about this because I was curious to see how he was going to pull this off. All he kept saying was how pretty I am, what a great dresser I am, and that he wanted to see me again. In his bio, he said he was 35, but in real life, he looks like he's 55. He will call again. So is it rude if I ask him his age? Because I'm not interested in dating someone my dad's age. Sorry, Dad, you're not old. Signed, filter, or no filter? Uh, uh,
So many levels. I mean, I don't know why people can't just be themselves. I mean, I think fake or altered photos only work on dating websites for the vision impaired. You know, I mean, that's the only place they're going to work. Eventually, you're going to see the person.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's harder to throw off Braille. You know what I mean? You got to be, there's a certain level of honesty with that.
Yeah. And by the way, if you date someone from a vision impaired website, your conversations have to have much more substance. Okay.
Lots of depth. A filter type person is not going to have that level of conversation. I agree. You know what? Maybe people should date on the visually impaired sites, but if it's like a one-sided kind of thing where you're the one with the impairment, the other person isn't, and then you get to surprise them. Hey, and I'm not blind.
Exactly. So it's a win-win for one of them, and the other one, maybe it's a win-win too. You know,
it's a win-win. I think it's a win-win. Yeah. We should start this kind of site, just a one-directional blindness matchmaking.
Yeah, and I mean, we could also do two-dimensional and see how that works out. You know. But
I like that you said see. We could see how that works out.
See how that we'll see. They won't see how it works out.
We could feel
I don't know.
Out.
Are we going down a bad avenue? I don't know. But I'm just so glad that I'm out there. I'm not out there, you know, playing this game anymore. You know, I mean, it's one thing to have a picture on your profile that's flattering, but it needs to be real or recent. You know, I don't need to see what you looked like 20 years ago. You know.
I like where Chris went with that. She's in full-on avatar mode at this point.
I mean, there's a filter, right?
Look at that. There's a filter.
I mean, I'm not exactly a filter, but this is kind of what they're talking about, right? You do something to your face, and now you're somebody else.
Well, leave that.
And then you
up
show
there.
up.
Leave that up there. You're looking better. So anyway, well, yeah.
Now I don't know how to get back to myself.
Great. Well,
okay.
I think you're
so was she saying
moving in the right direction. Paul, did you not hear what I said, or you look puzzled?
No, I didn't. I missed it. What?
No, I said I think Chris is moving in the right direction.
Nice, Chuck.
But you know, the older we get, the less time we have for bullshit. Be real, folks. Just get out there and be real. Meet people. Was
the bullshit again a cow pun?
Exactly. Cow pun. It was a cow done.
I'm trying to think. What are those things you milk?
Cows.
Udders.
Udder cows. Yes. Thanks, Chuck.
Well, I mean, you can milk a goat, but you know.
No, I was going to say that was utterly disgusting.
You could milk a joke.
An utter pun to follow. Thank you, Chris. I was hoping you wouldn't leave that as well.
Yeah, thank you.
You could milk a joke, and I think that's what we're doing here.
Yeah. To the last squeeze. Last squeeze.
There we go. All right. I think we've squirted enough juice out of this one. Should we move to the next vent?
Yes,
Unless Paul being on the serious side, maybe he's got something constructive.
Okay.
I just was going to say, I think that there is, I think that there is a certain, almost like a tolerance now for these filters. There's a certain expectation, I would say, but I'm of the old school. It sounds like we're kind of, all on the same page here. I think none.
Right.
I think none.
Yeah.
I think zero.
Yeah. Let me see who you are. And I've heard people complain about that they don't like when they see somebody's profile picture is a picture of someone and someone's been cut out of it. Well, who cares if it's a real rendering of who you are?
Right.
We're seeing you. We don't care who was cut out of the picture, and we don't need to see them. So I don't have a problem with that.
I just thought of this. Imagine you're buying a car.
Right.
Okay. I want to buy a Volkswagen. Thank you, Chuck. I want to buy a Volkswagen. Do I go and drive a Volkswagen? Yes. I don't go in and drive a Chevy because I want to buy a Volkswagen. So it's the same concept. Why am I looking at somebody that's completely different and it's not the person who I am? Does that make sense or am I rambling?
Well, I think even sometimes when people go to sell a used car, because I'm a big car guy, so I'll go cruising.
Me too.
Car gurus for fun. And once in a while, if a dealer, instead of putting a picture of the car that's for sale, they'll put the factory original Volkswagen photo that was from the commercial. And it's like, well, that's a filter, sir, because you're selling a 7-year-old Volkswagen. And that's what it looked like in a showroom from the manufacturer.
Right.
Why don't you show me the dented, dinged, a little worn out?
Right.
Show me the fades.
It's false advertising. And I'm giving you false advertising. I'm putting a filter on my face.
Right.
Like the cow. Yeah.
Right.
And I'll say too, I've been in my relationship for 10 years, but just before that, I got a little taste of the app dating world. And I'm with you, Chuck. I don't care who's cut out of it, but what I didn't like was who additionally was in it. Because sometimes, girls would put, I'm sure guys do it too, but I'm looking at the girl pages. Well, they would be like them and their friends on a Friday night. And I'm like, well, which one are you?
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the biggest faux pas is if you're in a picture with a friend who's way hotter than you. And now you're like, man, I was into you.
Yeah.
And so you made me realize who else was in this world.
Yeah. And now you go, I thought you were the girl on the left. Goodbye. Yeah. That's
the worst filter there is. I thought you were your friend.
Seriously.
No, it should be, I think passport photos are the best. The ugliest pictures and just put it up there. This is who I am,
And you're not allowed to smile on a passport photo. So it's as true to life.
Exactly. You can't put glasses on. You can't wear a hat. Nothing.
Can't show your nice teeth.
Right. Yeah. So
that's where I thought that T word was going to go.
Yeah.
Okay, Paul.
Yeah. You're nice.
Okay.
Teeth. Nice teeth.
And on that note,
Chris is just taking it to the moon right now. Oh,
exactly.
Teeth. Yes. No, I was with teeth as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. It's
right,
time for the last vent, right, gentlemen?
Oh my gosh.
I know this has been fun.
Don't let it be.
I know. All right, here it comes. I met this guy on another dating app vent. I met this guy on a dating app and he sounded good and he checked all the right boxes. When we agreed to meet, he said, let's do it on Zoom. What? And not in person because he had met a stalker woman and this time he wanted to be sure before he meets anyone in person. Am I the only person who thinks this is nuts? That's what she's writing. He actually said, you understand, I do not want to risk it. I don't want to Zoom on a date, she says, because the next thing he'll want is a Zoom kiss. I'm not sure if I should do this. Signed, a Zoom date, no way. Oh, really?
Well,
Really?
I don't think a Zoom date works. I mean, a Zoom date could lessen some of the tension from a real date. Going on a real date, but this doesn't work. I mean,
It doesn't work at all.
Have a telephone conversation or maybe a Zoom call, but that's not a date, but get out there and meet each other.
I think these last two events actually lead to each other because you got to ask yourself, why is this guy really doing this? He's doing this to make sure she is who she says she is, because he might be afraid of filtered pictures. But if you get on a Zoom, that's you.
Okay.
Maybe he asked you to do a little side to side so that the background,
right? Yeah, unless she puts up the cow. She may put up the cow.
She could put up the cow possibly, but I think he's filtering. Either let him have tell him, hey, I'll give you a 5-minute date in case you've been catfished by some weirdos who turned out to not look like who they say. But if he seems weird, I think have a different friend. I think have an entirely, if you're white, have a black friend pop in, you know what I mean? If you're like, whoever, just to really throw this guy off entirely. And so he's like, wait, I thought, is this?
Have fun with it. Yeah. That's the high-tech version of the group photo is what you're doing there, I guess, huh?
Well, I mean, because otherwise, like what you're also hearing is that this guy sounds like a player. dating so many girls, going on so many dates, that he's trying to find out before he even leaves his house if this is good. I think this guy's going for volume. I think he might be superficial.
Yeah.
And I think
Yeah.
Chris, like you said, or maybe a quick phone call if you just, because I will agree, the DM, the messaging back and forth,
Mhm.
that'll
That's all.
kill anything
Yeah.
before it
Yeah.
even starts.
Yeah.
2-3 messages, a little quip, a little funny this, and then
And messaging, the humor's not there, the feeling is not there. You're reading words, the emotion is not there. So
yeah.
I mean, I think a date is really just a job and a job interview that lasts a few hours, and if it goes well, you all end up naked.
I love it. I love it. Yeah.
It's just like a job interview. Yeah.
You know
Just
what I
like,
think?
well, you guys work in Hollywood, so
Yeah.
a lot of jobs in that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The jobs do, but yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
And
we
they
don't
begin
work
that way, I
naked.
should
Yeah.
Dates. That's right. Yeah.
To take Paul's notion further about the same guy thing, what if this Zoom guy is the cheap guy that doesn't want to pay for dates? And
Thank
the
you.
reason why he's doing the date Zoom thing is because
Yeah.
he's so cheap.
Yes.
And you know what? I'm sorry. Go on a date, meet the person, have a drink, do it in, get to know each other, but to be cheap and say, oh,
No.
I had a stalker after me.
He doesn't want to
Really?
spend. Yeah, he doesn't want to spend $10, is what you're saying. to meet
Exactly.
somebody. Yeah.
He's been stuffed on too much lemon pie.
Yeah.
This guy, they all come together in this episode. They
There you
all
go.
come together. I think we're all on the same page.
Yeah.
I think this guy's going for volume. He's going for cheapness.
Yeah.
But I think he should meet a nice girl at the dollar store.
Mhm.
That's what he should do.
Yeah.
They're gonna, you know what?
Somebody that's real.
Real match.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Exactly. Yeah.
That's who he belongs
That's-
with. The
that's-
clearance
that's
rack of
perfect.
Walgreens or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's not so bad. I mean, I had my share of people that, wore the most expensive clothes and expensive cars and all that stuff. And, now I've had 20 years with somebody that's like, she'll buy her clothes at Target or she'll buy it at the, Saks or, Bloomingdale.
Yeah.
It depends what it is. But
Yeah.
there's no pride that you can't buy something at the, Target,
Oh, you have
Exactly.
no, you got it. I wear black t-shirts and gray jeans every day. I don't do brands. I'm not going to peel the Nike off my sneakers. I just know that they last forever. But yeah, I don't do brands.
Right.
I want to set the mood. I don't need a giant Balenciaga across with it. You're
Right.
thinking about 10 other things and news headlines and dollars. I'd rather, let's be right here, and pick up the moment. That's
No, I'm with you. I don't do the brand thing. If it's there, that's fine. But and if I'm going to wear a big Nike logo across the front of my shirt, they should be paying me.
Yeah, exactly.
I paid for the shirt. Why do I have to advertise for you?
I say the same thing about restaurants. You ever go to a restaurant and they have that like merch section by the door and you can buy their t-shirt or their hat and it's like $25 or $35. And you're thinking, wait, you should pay me because then I'm a walking billboard. You want me to pay you to take
Exactly.
your brand around town.
Right.
What-
Right.
Not even me being cheap. It would be smart to give those away.
Sure.
It's like when you go to a cafe or a restaurant that says bathroom for customers only. Are you kidding me? You should put open bathroom out front for everybody. Because if you could have everyone in that town walking through everything you sell to use the bathroom and they still didn't buy anything,
Right.
it's time to close the doors.
Yeah. No, you got
You
a
know
point.
what I
But some of the merch thing, I mean, if you're on vacation and you want some memorabilia, you go to a restaurant that you really liked. I mean, I've been guilty of that. You go somewhere and
Sure.
it's like, wow, this is a really great pub. And you buy a hat because it was your European vacation or you were in Australia for a month. And it's like,
Sure.
well, it's something you're not going to have again. You're not going to probably go back there again. So that's a different story. But for me, living in Los Angeles and, going to, Chachi's restaurant, I don't need Chachi's hat,
I like tchotchkes. Oh, Chachi's, not
Chachi.
tchotchkes.
Yeah, I don't know if Chachi has a restaurant. It just came out, Chachi,
Oh. Yeah.
To prove what you're saying, I'll bet the restaurants did enough, A/B testing to figure out, hey, we were gonna pay people to wear these shirts, but a couple of these guys offered us some money. You know what? Take that sign down. Let's start charging for
It's all about money. That's what it really comes down to.
Well, not according to these guys. I mean, the guy wants a Zoom date, no money there. The guy got offended so you're right. Actually, it is all about the money. You're right,
it's
Chuck.
all about the
but
money.
he got a free piece of lemon cake or pie.
Well, hopefully that's him.
Yeah.
No, the other guy did have to. The guy paid for the lemon cake. And
he did. You're right.
Oh, he did. He did.
Yeah.
Did he?
And yeah, he ended up paying for it.
Okay.
I wish we had a hidden camera on that date, because I just have to wonder if the girl did something else on that date that turned him off so badly, because guys are generally the aggressors, if you will. It's kind of an aggressive term, but the ones to make the follow-up call. That's usually the guy.
Right.
So I can't imagine he was too afraid to pay for another slice of pie.
Yeah. Something had to go wrong. Maybe a fart during appetizers.
Now we're talking, Chuck.
Yeah.
Now
see?
we're talking.
You never know what could have gone wrong.
Chuck,
as if lemon pie doesn't taste bad enough to start, but if you're
anybody does that on a date, it's over.
It's all coming up lemons. Well,
coming up lemons.
Unless you have a fart fetish, then it's a hit.
80% of taste is smell, Chuck. 80%, and we're back to the bullshit line on the side.
This podcast is a lemon if we keep going.
Now there you go. Now maybe there should be a dating website for the smelling impaired.
Oh,
they could meet the blind who have great senses. This is a good match.
Oh,
boy, we've got something here. We can't let this go. We may be starting something new.
Are we running out of time?
Anyway, no, my watch is full of numbers. All right, so you're saying wrap this thing up? Is that what you're saying, Chrissy? All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess Chris said it's about time. Paul, we want to thank you. This is great. I mean,
Paul, you're great.
We'd like to thank you for being here. But before you go and before we go, you got anything you want to plug where you may be appearing soon, or you have any upcoming vacation plans, or you have a sitcom coming out? What's happening with you?
All kinds of, actually, I am working on a sitcom as we speak. It didn't even occur to me you guys are in TV. Maybe we should chat about it. But so I'm working all over town. I got some smaller stuff, just outside of LA where I can do my full hour. I've started headlining in the last year, so it's been a lot of fun. But really, just check out my Instagram, Paul Roseberry Comedian. Actually, I think it's Paul Roseberry Comedy, and I just gave up that I don't know my own URL. But
if you go to Paul Roseberry, how many Paul Roseberries are there?
Yeah, you know what? I've looked it up, and the other one, there's a guy with a tattooed face and a shaved head named Paul Roseberry.
Oh my gosh!
I kind of want to meet him, but I think over Zoom.
Yeah, Don't go out on a date.
Zoom date.
Yeah.
And don't order pie.
No.
Right.
So paulroseberry.com, Paul Roseberry on Instagram. Wherever. Just say something. I'll say something back.
There you go.
Okay.
There you go. Yeah, just follow you, and that's it. And we'd like our listeners to follow us on Instagram, and that's Vent This Podcast. All one word, Vent This Podcast. Follow us. And now we're on YouTube, and soon we'll be doing these podcasts with video. As a matter of fact, we're doing this podcast with video today. This is our first one. Woohoo! It's all very exciting. A lot of things happening here. And don't forget to go to our website, ventthis.org, write us a vent, or leave us a voicemail vent by calling 818-570-2535. We'll play your vent in an upcoming episode, or on an upcoming episode. On an upcoming episode, it'll be played. How's that? Anyway.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So this was a lot of fun. I always thought war and pollution would cause the end of humans, but now I'm starting to think that stupidity might do the trick.
Okay.
Just a thought I was having, huh? So anyway, you look astonished or amazed, Paul.
Well, I was going to say, I agree with you, because if you look at global reproduction rates, people are not hooking up. I went to Japan and they don't know how to talk to each other. People don't know how. So you're right. It's a sort of a social, I don't want to say stupidity, but kind of.
Yeah.
That'll be the end of us. There'll just be no more people. It's not the rubble.
Hey,
communication. We're killing communication with all the texting and emailing and Zoom.
Why don't we do a vent on hooking up? See how
All right. Well-
how often that happens. That's because you guys brought that up. That's good. Good idea.
There you go. All right. Well, should we end the episode, or you want to keep going?
No.
Chris, you want to do it right now?
Yeah.
Wait, are we all hooking up?
There we go. On a Zoom date. All right. So that's it, guys. Paul, it's been great. Chris, keep trying. No, just kidding. It was a joke. But now everybody go out there and smile at people. It'll probably freak them out.
Toodles. Bye.